Okay, folks, that's a wrap here from Shelbourne Park for the Winter Racing Festival for 2024. What 2 nights of action we had. Stunning night's action on Friday night. And again here, of course, tonight when we have the main action of the night. 6 championship races worth €10,000. And I'm here with the main man himself. Don't do it again. Ian Fortune, who's going to review the action for me. Ian, we kicked off with the Winter Racing Festival Juvenile 525. It's called a Juvenile, but we've seen a few of these around before. Big fan of Carl Ramsdale, as are you, but check for cash. He had that 198 sectional in his locker, but drawn out in 5, it looked a tricky draw, but he flew out and made on.
How often have we seen in a race where the 6 inside seeds, the place to be is on the outside? I went with Ballymacbriar, you went with Check for Cash. And we had a right set 2 down at the third bend. I thought when Ballymacbriar had gone through on the inside, I thought that was it. Ball burst, game over. He was going to go on and win. Having seen how well he was running in the early rounds of the Derby, he seemed to be running stronger. But in fairness to Check for Cash, he wasn't to be denied. He kicked again off the final turn. And really likeable display. He's a real dog to go to war with now in 2025. And Carol certainly won't be afraid to run him. The Cashback Syndicate, they're quickly turning into one of the luckiest owners in the game. They've had some really nice dogs. Good winner last night in Check for Sir, and tonight check for cash. And it just writes their own headlines, really, don't they?
Off and racing, good start by 5, Check for Cash will lead into the opening turn from in second spot 6, Ballymacbriar, then comes 1, Crafty Alejandro, but into the back straight, and it's 5, Check for Cash that leads, 6, Ballymacbriar, then comes 4, Unanimous Roxy, down to the third bend, Check for Cash, here comes 6, Ballymacbriar up the inside, and Ballymacbriar will strike the front, but 5, Check for Cash is back for more, it's Check for Cash and Ballymacbriar off the final turn, Check for Cash digs deep to score from in second, 6, Ballymacbriar, the winning time 28:46. A great start to the second night of the festival here at Shelbourne Park.
On to the second race, Ian, the sprint contest for the speedsters. As you always say in commentary, blink and you'll miss it. I think you want to be blinking a long time because it takes about 18 and a half seconds. But look, Second Treasure was well fancied on the inside. We did say before racing, dogs don't seem to bomb out of 1 in sprints, and that was the case again. Road Exile, he's so solid in these races. It was over after 2 yards, wasn't it?
It was over after a stride, no question about it. The one thing about Road Exile, he's not what they'd call a flying starter all the time. He's probably a 3 and 5. Tonight was one of those 3, and after a stride it was over because Second Treasure didn't get racing and just didn't look the same Greyhound as he did in Derby final night. It was Ballymac Explo, the absolute rank outsider of the field, that was chasing Road Exile into the corner. But listen, he's a Kingdom Derby champion, the fellow in front. He's a proven performer over 4 and 2 bends, so they're not going to pick him up. And once he cleared the opening corner, it was a case of by how far. He stretched on, he won very well, fast time, Bucks always has them charged for nights like this. He ran very well in Derby final night off a slow start. Tonight off a fast start, he ran even better. And that's what you want. Pat is pretty sharp with these types of greyhounds. And listen, Road Exile, you have to mention it. That was his 30th win in what was his 60th start. Like, how would you dream to have a dog like that? A 1 and 2 strike rate, and he's raced 60 times. Unbelievable.
So any Luca would say that's 30 wins out of 60 races, so 100% strike rate, you would say. Look, we must mention the runner-up, Elite Kursk, first run back for a while for Miles Robin, ran a cracker back in second place, and as two did 5 Ballymac Expo.
Yeah, Elite Kursk is again, he's one for next year for Miles Robin. They had real sport with him this year, ran up the Irish Sprint Cup, second here tonight in the Winter Racing Festival, didn't get the flyer. He's capable of going up faster. I think we'll see plenty of Elite Kursk next year, hopefully. Yeah, Touchwood all staying well with him.
The runners, 1 Second Treasure, 2 Evolution. In 3 we have Born Racer, 4 in your card Road Exile, 5 Ballymac Explo, and 6 is Elite Kursk. Hair up behind the boxes. Off and racing, good start by 4, Road Exile leads in the early yards, from in second 5 Ballymac Explo, 6 Elite Kursk on the outside, but Road Exile will take the corner from Ballymac Explo and 6 Elite Kursk. It's Road Exile clear off the final turn. This fellow won't be picked up. Road Exile, a top sprinter, wins a top sprint. Second, it's tight between 6 Elite Kursk and 5 Ballymac Explo, but Road Exile on his own here this evening, out front in 18:49.
The ladies were up in the third race of the Bitch 550. We both said Grange Clare Lady had a chance, and again this was one of these races that was more or less over after 5 or 6 yards. She took a good start from 4 and led clearly into the bend. Hawkfield Abbey did run a cracker back in second place. She was sort of well off the pace back in maybe third at the sprint box, but Grange Clare Lady, decent pedigree. Sure. And look, she could be a good bitch for next year.
She was a bitch that really did progress sort of after her 6th or 7th race, much like her dam Susie Sapphire. It took her a few races to sort of get the hang of it. She's definitely strengthening up. Now, she's not a strong stayer over 550 yards like they were coming at her, but she does need the longer run to the corner. She can flash some traps, but more often than not, she comes away okay and then paces up. And yeah, the long run to the corner really suits her over the 550-yard trip. Don't get me wrong, she could certainly develop into an Oaks bitch next year, but I think I'd be targeting some of maybe the 2-run 550-yard competitions, you know, a Race of Champions down in Tralee or a Champion Stakes. That's sort of an idea because she's pretty sharp. You know, she'll lead a lot of greyhounds into the opening corner. Lots to like about her. I said in commentary Ardira Freya would probably start closing from the third bend. Yeah. She seemed to check her stride nearly as she heard me saying it. You know, it was her first run in some time. I think she'll come on for it. Thought she ran very well in third. Of course, Hawkfield Abbey staying on very stoutly into second spot. You know, she's one you could step up and trip next year, maybe have a crack at something like the Cesarowicz. You know, we know she loves Mullingar. She held the 550-yard track record until last weekend around Mullingar. So who knows? They'll pick up something with her, I'm sure. But no, good winner, Grange Clare Lady. Keep an eye out for her next year. She's definitely one to keep an eye on.
Just to mention for Sing Along Molly, she was well supported in the ring, but
didn't happen for her tonight. Yeah, just one of those. She missed the kick and just could never get involved. I think she met a bit of traffic in the corner, but have no fear. We'll see plenty of her next year.
And there is the bell. The runners in 1 Ardira Freya, 2 Hawkfield Abbey, 3 Silverhill Freya, in 4 Grange Clare Lady, 5 is Sing Along Molly, and 6 is Now We're Talking. There, coming up behind Traps. Racing, good start by 2 up the inside, Hawkfield Abbey, now 4 Grange Clare Lady, showing great early speed to burst to the front on the bend. It's Grange Clare Lady, she leads by 2.5 lengths in second, 1 Ardira Freya, gap in third to 2 Hawkfield Abbey, but it's Grange Clare Lady on by 3.5 lengths, 1 Ardira Freya, you'd suspect will start closing the gap. Back in third is 2 Hawkfield Abbey, but Grange Clare Lady remains clear, and Grange Clare Lady, early speed, wins the races. She makes every inch. 2 Hawkfield Abbey running on strongly in second, but there was no picking up. Grange Clare Lady in 29.77.
Okay, on to race number 4 on your card. Mairead's Prince I thought was a decent bet in here. I thought Infield Destiny would move ever so inwards on the run to the corner. Didn't think Fay Point Harvey would have the early pace to lead the inside runners, but he did, and once he did, he's quite strong out in front, isn't he?
Well, we sort of did intimate in our little piece beforehand that we thought it could get a bit tight on the inside. It didn't quite happen like we thought it would, but Phoenix Memphis does edge inwards, and if Fay Point Harvey hit the lids, which he has more and more often shown that he is capable of doing, I really liked him at the start of his career, and then he just seemed to wander through for a few months and just didn't seem to develop. And I think I said a few times he's probably reached his limit. He's gone again. You know, he's turned into a really nice greyhound. I suppose the sign of a good dog is that when the opportunity arises, you take it. And that's what he did tonight. We knew he had a good draw with 3 edging inwards. If he hit the lids, he was going to be in a great position. He hit the lids, that was it, went to the front, and he had the right 2 dogs in behind. Yeah. Kapuka Warrior, Phoenix Memphis. It was clear to anybody that backed Fay Point Harvey that while they might close to the third bend, that's as close as they were going to get, because he kicked again. I think he won 4 lengths in the end. Just a really likeable dog. You know, in anybody else's kennel, he'd be one of their kennel stars. It just so happens he's in Graham Holland's kennel, so he's probably about 15th in the list, if not lower. But that doesn't mean he can't pop up and run very well in top competitions next year. I like the way he's ended the year. He's ended it on a high, and I think they can target, let's say, the likes of an Easter Cup early in the year. Yeah,
my kennel, he would probably be the second best dog in my kennel. Most mentioned Kapuka Warrior ran well into the Tour bound for Carl Ramsden. Looked as though he's going to challenge, but we know Kapuka Warrior, not the strongest.
Carl's dogs weren't flying. They weren't flying early in the Derby. Even Check for Cash, while he was running well, wasn't really seeing it out. We saw what he did tonight, kicked on again. I think he's after getting his dogs pretty much on tune. And Kapuka Warrior can win a race or 2 now in the coming weeks, I'd say. I'm not sure if they'll put him away, but I wouldn't be surprised if he popped up and won a decent race or 2.
Yeah, just speaking to Barry Clancy after racing Infield Destiny, so fast but so frustrating. I think he picked up a little niggle, and the plan is to leave him on the sideline for maybe 6 or 8 weeks. Like, he's very, very fast.
He's a dog where the penny is yet to fully drop. We know he's fast. It's a case of just learn what you're about. Learn what the sport's about.
The hare coming up behind Traps Often Racing, and a good start by 4. Fate Point Harvey on his inside is Phoenix Memphis. Then comes 5 and third Infield Destiny out front, however, and it's 4 Fate Point Harvey who's taken the corner. He's on by 3. In second, 1 Kapuka Warrior. 3 comes next, Phoenix Memphis, but out front and Fate Point Harvey leads. 1 Kapuka Warrior trying to challenge, but Fate Point Harvey still in pole position. Off the final turn, it's Fate Point Harvey. The right dog's in behind them, up to the line. Fate Point Harvey going on to score. In second, it's 1 Kapuka Warrior and 3 Phoenix Memphis. The winning time 29.83.
The 600 in race 5 in the card. We mentioned it at the top of the card. It was probably one of the best races of the night. Boyle Sports Bob. Like, he's not in the same league as Infield Destiny. He's the other way. He's so quick, but he's so frustrating. Didn't seem to come. He seemed to come away okay, but just doesn't got the early to go with them.
Yeah, he's massive all round pace, but just when you're like, he'd be better off in a Shelbourne Open 600, where it's 2 or 3 rounds, and the speed merchants can flash in the first round, and then it comes down to power and pace and strength and stamina and attrition. On this occasion, it didn't take a genius to think that Untold Dollar was going to lead around the corner. We know how much speed he has. As it was, he needed the full length of the straight to get around. It's notable how much better he ran from out in 5, and how much he's appreciated the longer run to the corner in his last 2 starts. He's a dog with a big future. If he can just brush up on his trapping, and it's something I've said ad nauseum, he has a serious engine. I spoke to the owners last night and said to them, you look back at that 575, they were questioning whether he would stay the 600. I said, they never got him to the escape that night. He just kept on rolling. And that's exactly what he did tonight. He never at one point looked in any danger once he entered the back straight. He kicked on around the opening 2 bends, and he just kept on going. And I really liked this display. I thought it was a hell of a good run from him. They're going to have some sport with him. Absolutely have some sport with him. Ballymac Gizmo returned to form the last night, 28-20. Tonight was another big step forward again for him. Yeah. Again, he was the dog who, I know he got to the English Derby final this year, but you never felt that the penny really did drop. I think it's starting to drop. And yeah, he's definitely one to keep an eye out for. And as you said, Boyle Sports Bob, listen, he's immensely fast. This wasn't the target. The Derby was his target. And not too many of the Derby finalists ran fantastically well tonight. Boyle Sports Bob was nearly the best of them.
Yeah, I think when you look back at the Derby final on the Sunday morning, you've realised how well Boyle Sports Bob did run. Look, Ballymac Gizmo, as you said, he's coming into form, but he's probably coming into form at the wrong time, because we're sort of wrapping up the end of the season, and look, hopefully they can keep him sound to next year.
The runners for the Championship 600, 1 Sing-Along Dolly, 2 Ballymac Gizmo, 3 the Bull Falcon, 4 Extra Gain, 5 Untold Dollar, and 6 is Boyle Sports Bob. Hair up behind Traps Racing, good start by 3 in the middle to Bull Falcon, 1 up the inside, Sing-Along Dolly, and there goes 5 Untold Dollar, showing tremendous early speed on the outside. Untold Dollar will go round in front, from in second 3 to Bull Falcon, 2 improves Ballymac Gizmo, but out front in 5 Untold Dollar is on by 6, in second 2 Ballymac Gizmo, the Bull Falcon. Boyle Sports Bob starts to wind up his challenge, but Untold Dollar still 3 clear to Ballymac Gizmo, trying to close. Untold Dollar to the second winning line. It's still Untold Dollar. Untold Dollar will get there in second spot. I didn't see them. The winning time 32-22.
Race 6 probably was the biggest race of the night, even though we've had all these top class races. It was the final of the IGOBF National Puppy 525. We thought there was going to be a bit of maybe argy-bargy on the inside with Ballymac Eli and Untold Ruffia. You did say that you thought Lemon Joey would be well backed. He was extremely well backed. During the week, Boyle Sports had Untold Ruffia about 9-4. He went off at 4-1. Yeah. 4-1 he went off at. Unbelievable price. I was downstairs. I got on quite well with the lads out of the Pillar Syndicate, Noel Bourne and all them, and Dave Bourne, and the IIs were gone up after 10 yards.
Not even. Yeah, it was even earlier than that. I told you, the Untold boys last night, John and Colin Purdy, and with them was Davy Sutton. And Davy insisted, he says, this dog can fly from boxes. We know he needs to, because the Ballymac Eli dog will edge off. That's the way I saw it happening. Yeah, we get it wrong. And by God, when you get it wrong, you might as well get it wrong, absolutely unbelievably so. And yeah, after a stride, it was like, well, that's that. Race is done, because we know how fast he is. He's vulnerable to the corner. But if he gets in front, He's massive pace. I thought it was a hell of a run from a really nice dog. If he continues trapping like that, we'll see loads more of Untold Rufia. Didn't happen for a couple of his rivals. I thought BallymacEli actually ran very well in defeat.
He did.
He ran on really strongly to pick up Hope's Kitty. I didn't think that was possible. He's strengthening all the time. He's that type of dog that Liam does very well with. Lets them learn on the game, and so it takes them a while to really find their stride. But he could be a proper greyhound next year. Lemon Joey just didn't happen for him. He walked out. Droopy's Deploy, something similar. I really like She Be The One. It didn't happen for her either. But no, it's a good final. I think we'll be looking back at this in 12 months' time and going, yeah, that was a real good final, and some nice dogs that'll come out of it. But on tonight's evidence, Untold Rufia is the one to follow.
Just want to touch on the sectional, because you've a better view up there from us. You can see if dogs charge the traps. The section of Untold Rufia was 210. To me, he looked like he absolutely rocketed from traps. So was it a case of the others around him maybe missed it, and he maybe looked like he flashed from traps? Because to the naked eye, it looked like it was a 198, 202, but 210 on the clock.
You could be right. Listen, in the cut and thrust of things, you don't be noticing. I didn't even notice the 210, to be honest. I was in the height of it up there. It's something I look back on tomorrow, but like to my eye, he flashed out, and often the eye is right more so than the clock sometimes. You know what I mean? You have to sort of believe your own eye.
And there is the bell. The runners for this IGOBF National Puppy Stake: 1, BallymacEli; 2, Untold Rufia; 3, She Be The One; 4, Hope's Kitty; 5, Lemon Joey; and 6 is Droopy's Deploy. Hair up behind traps. And racing, good start by 4 in the middle, Pope's Kitty, but 2, Untold Rufia took a flyer, and all of a sudden Untold Rufia finds himself 3 clear into the back. From in second, 4, Hope's Kitty, then comes 1, BallymacEli, but Untold Rufia is strong, he's pacey, he's on by 4, Untold Kitty in second, and BallymacEli in third. But this is no more than a procession, because Untold Rufia remains clear, turning for home, and is going to emerge a tremendous winner of the National Puppy Stake. In second is 1, BallymacEli, the winning time 28:29.
On to race 7, Ian. We touched again on this in our preview. The other Kobe, we said he was impressive in his trial last week. He did tie up a little bit, as you said, coming home. He was shortening his stride, but look, 2023 Derby winner, absolutely flashed from boxes. Didn't happen really for Carrick, although missed the kick. We sort of thought he might miss the kick. Not a great trapper from the 525 trap for some reason. The longer run up does suit him. Tarzan and Maasai went up well. And maybe at the sprint box, I thought Tarzan and Maasai might make a race of this, because
his heart was broken.
Yeah, Colby's not the strongest there in the world. I thought he's won a Derby over 550, but Colby just kept pulling. 28-12, fastest time of the night.
Yeah, he's just an absolute machine. He's just a wonderful greyhound, so professional. Hasn't been on the track in a race since Consolation Laurels. On that night, it was hock deep, it was wet, it was windy, it was miserable, and he comes back after nearly a 3-month break and pops out, absolutely flies, just a proper greyhound. And as strange as it sounds, I pray to God it's the last we see of him. I would love that to be the swan song, to remember the other Kobe from, because he retired after last year's Derby. We'll never see him again, but geez, what a high he went out. And then he arrived back, and in fairness to him, there was a fair few highlights this year, but if the Consolation Laurels had been his last race, it would have been a travesty. Tonight would be a perfect swan song. What a greyhound, Derby champion. And I don't know, maybe he didn't fly at stud and whatnot, but I can't see any reason why he shouldn't. He's a proper greyhound, and tonight was evidence of all that has been great about him and his racing career. Just a wonderful greyhound. 28-12 in those conditions, 4.5 years of age. It writes, what a script, what an ending.
We're talking about the Winter Racing Festival here, the top greyhounds in the country, right? The other Colby is 5 in 5 months' time, and he records the fastest time of the night. Is it going to be the Gold Cup? It's going to start in February? It's 3 months away. I know you're talking about retiring him and going out at the top, but he's recorded the fastest time of the night. Winter Racing Festival. It's 3 months away.
What I've noticed about him this year was there was 2 or 3 flashy runs in every competition, and it just, the more he went into a competition, the more sort of the age catches up with them. His best runs were after a little break, and I hope he gets a long break now, and I hope he's paying some visits in the very near future. I think that'd be a lovely way to finish.
It's a great conversation for the lads to have. He's been an absolute superstar. That's twice he's won Winter Racing Festival and a Derby as well. Not half bad, is it?
And there is the bell, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Championship 525. 1 the other Colby, 2 Hawkfield Blue, 3 Hopes Teddy, 4 is Ventry Faith, and 5 Tarzan Masai, and 6 Carrick Aldo. Here up behind Traps. And racing, and there goes Colby, took a flyer, leads up the inside, the 2023 Derby champion. The other Colby's on by 2, Tarzan Masai second, then comes 2 Hawkfield Blue, but it's still the other Colby. He's on by 3 lengths to Tarzan Masai. Hawkfield Blue, Carrick Aldo gets racing in 4th, but the other Colby turning the clock back, he's still on by 3.5 lengths. Tarzan Masai starting to bridge the gap, but the other Colby off the final turn, they'll save ground up the fence, and the other Colby, what a brilliant tracker this fellow is. Second is 2 Hawkfield Blue, and Tarzan Masai third, the 2023 Derby champion, winning in style.
Race 18, the Winter Racing Festival champion 550. You're a big fan of the laddie da, and look, things went well for him. Things went his way. Nocky and Dazzler sadly went wrong at a sprint box, but he seemed to get to the pickup okay.
Yeah, hopefully, we're hoping it's just muscular.
Yeah, it looked like that.
It may well be the end, I don't know, but hopefully it was just muscular. He'll be looked after, be kept comfortable. I'm sure he'll be right as rain very shortly, but whether we'll see him on the track or not, I don't know. But as I said, he'll be given the best possible care.
Into the third bend, the race looked all over as a contest. The laddie da slipped up the inside of Cheap Sandwiches, who we sort of have in the back of our mind wouldn't be the strongest there, but off the last bend there was a bit of a he's coming back for a bit more, but the laddie da just pulled out a bit more and held on.
This is a dog who was beaten a length in the Derby final, like coming at one of the perhaps one of the greatest dogs of all time. This fella stays, he's getting stronger and whatnot. We did touch on it earlier on. It's very hard to keep these dogs going after the Derby. I'm sure he was given a complete week of rest, and then all of a sudden to say to him, right, let's get back. What do you do this week? Give him 1 gallop, give him 2 gallops, and then hope that he's back into the zone again. You get out of that rhythm, it's hard to get back into it.
Yeah, it's hard to ease off and then get back into it again.
Like, there's a reason why we bring dogs back before competitions and give them a spin or two. In an ideal world, there would have been a bigger gap between the festival and the Derby, but that's the way it happened this year. And if he had, let's say, had a month's break and come back and had a run or a couple of trials, he'd have been right as rain. Tonight, he didn't get the flyer, and the proximity of Nocky and Dazzler did not work in his favour. He absolutely flew to the opening corner, and just Cheap Sandwiches then has to sort of work for his position and whatnot. And as you said, the laddie da, English Derby champion, and we knew he was fully tuned. Liam's dogs were basically off for 2 or 3 months. There was obviously something amiss. The laddie da got better and better through the Derby. We saw his run the consolation final night, or in the consolation. Tonight, while he wasn't at his very best, he still had to run very hard to win. Like, this is a Derby runner-up he's beaten. Big run by the winner. What a star, like an English Derby champion, a consolation Derby winner. He beaten favourite in last year's Derby, shall we say, having got knocked out in the semi-finals. Tonight he wins a Winter Racing Festival. Just a proper Greyhound. And Cheap Sandwiches lost nothing in defeat.
No, he ran a cracker. I must mention Superfast Gordon back in Turden. 7 beats.
Big race, Superfast Gordon. Was like in between, off the last bend, you're going, this dog's flying.
Not that far, yeah. Yeah, 7 beats ran okay. I know he finished 5th. He was done no favours by the small injury picked up by Nocky and Dazzler.
And there is the bell, ladies and gentlemen. It is your 8th race tonight. The Championship 551, the laddie da. In 2 Superfast Gordon, 3 Hotwood, 4 Cheap Sandwiches, 5 Nocky and Dazzler, 6, 7 Beach. Off they go, and a good start by Trop 5. Nocky and Dazzler takes a flyer, leads into the opening turn from 6-7 Beach, and 4 Cheap Sandwiches in third, but up front in 5 Nocky and Dazzler. Lost his footing there, and I'm afraid he's after losing his stride, but up front is Cheap Sandwiches. The Derby runner-up goes on. Here comes one, the laddie da up the inside. It's Cheap Sandwiches, the laddie da, and the laddie da just strikes the front from 4 Cheap Sandwiches, who's back for more. 2 stalks him in behind Superfast Gordon to the line. The laddie da will get there from 4 Cheap Sandwiches and 2 Superfast Gordon. The winning time 29.58.
Ian, on to race 9, the Winter Racing Festival Championship Bitch 525. As you already know, big fans of Carl Ramsbottom and Eugene Price, and look, Eugene already had a winner on the card tonight, and there was big eyes down in the stands. Eugene's a big supporter of the game, long-time supporter of the game. The bitch went off at big price. She ran really, really well in the Derby. She did run really well, and she took a flyer. I think you mentioned in commentary, maybe halfway down the back straight, she's going to be a tough nut to crack. And although they came at her, and they came at her, and they came at her, she just held off. Short grip, I know she was quite short in the betting, but she ran her heart out. But when you have a bitch like Is She There out in front, as you said in commentary, she's going to be hard to pick up.
She's very plucky. On the bunny, she's very hard to pass, and she's strong, and she's willing, and she's determined, and that was there to be seen. You know, after Carl had his second winner in 2 nights, you're absolutely certain that Eugene wanted to match his great pal. I'd say as we speak, the two of them are down there plotting more.
Oh, they are.
In the future.
They are.
But no, is she there? She just kept on finding, and while short grip is very strong, she doesn't have that pace down the back straight to fly past dogs. You knew she was going to have to make her move from the third bend home. That's where this lady goes again. And, you know, while she's coming, is she there is every bit as strong. And yeah, it was a great little tussle, great finish, but yeah, a great result for Rosemary and Eugene Price. And of course, his great pal, Colin Rosbottom, who's a joint owner. He's also a joint owner of Penny's Links. So yeah, it was nice to see them having a winner. And as we said, like, they put a few quid behind the bar here as well. So, this is a good one for the venue.
Yeah, I've been promised a drink by Eugene and Carol, so let's wrap this up as quick as we can.
All in. There's the bell. The runners for this Winter Racing Festival Championship Pitch 525. 1 Dealish Nora. 2 Is She There. 3 Mustang Fever. 4 Short Grip. 5 Jubies Kamari. 6 is Glengar Martha. Hair up behind Traps. Racing, good start by 4 Short Grip, leads up from 4, 2 up her inside, Is She There, in between runners is Mustang Fever, it's Is She There, will lead round the bend from in second, 1 Dealish Nora, 4 Short Grip is still on the scene, but out front it's 2, Is She There, she'll be a tough nut to crack, she leads by a length and a half, but 4 Short Grip draws closer, 1 Dealish Nora, then comes 3 Mustang Fever, onto the final bend, it's Is She There, 4 Short Grip, trying to come at her, Is She There, Short Grip, Is She There, keeps on digging, and gets there, Is She There, a tremendous winner from 4 Short Grip and 1 Dealish Nora. The winning time 28.50. Well done.
Okay, you're on to race 10, the 750 race, and lucky enough the camera worked for this race this time instead of Derby Final Night. We did say that JT Craze could be vulnerable because Hookham can take a flyer. Now, the way it worked out is Hookham took an unbelievable flyer and was never even in the way of JT Craze. And JT Craze showed so much pace down the home straight that he outclassed Hookham down the home straight, which takes a lot of doing. He did.
Hookham did swing wide off the second bend, so left a lovely gap. Probably gave Craze a length. It was all he needed. It was just that little bit. I'm close enough here. If I charge up the inside here, I'm getting through. And you can almost sense it from him. A real racing display. Got to the front. And you know that once he gets to the front, he's only going to increase his lead to the fifth bend. And then I may be vulnerable. But, like, it was the two ladies you were worried about because, like, Coulivanny Otto, first time over the trip, the 41-46 trial, to me, says that he's probably not fully seeing it out. So once he wasn't in front, forget about it.
He moved into the third bend.
He did, or the fifth bend.
Fifth bend, sorry.
But he didn't stay it. Hookham, last year, he actually stayed it better earlier in the year than he did later in the year, and we haven't seen him over 750 hardly this year. So it was unlikely he was going to come from off the pace. And Penny's Links, well, he struggled to win a 750 here prior, so we knew he wasn't going to come from behind. So I was throwing my eye on, my old pal Crescent Emily and behind at a huge price. It wasn't meant to be at a huge price, but I thought she ran her heart out. She's a really nice stayer. If she'd been mine, she'd have been running a little bit later in the card in the 850. Now, as it was, she wouldn't have won that either. We'll get to that. But no, a fine display by JT Craze. For all that he's winning now over 750 yards, like, this is a dog that you want over 750 yards in the summer, top of the ground, when, like, conditions aren't as cool, the wind's not in your face. Like, what could this fella do for the first, let's say, 600 yards on July going? Like, this fella could rag good greyhounds to the fifth bend, and catch me if you can then. Yeah,
and don't pigeonhole him either. He can easily step back to four bends and be as quick as he can.
And this is often a discipline that fills dogs like this with confidence. We saw it with, his prior kennel companion, the Price's dog that won the can't remember his name now. Oh, the really powerful dog.
What dog?
Won the Concord Gullin about 2-3 years ago for Paul.
Not Price's Jet.
Price's Jet. Yeah, that's the one.
Come on, Eno.
I know. I'm slipping.
Better than that. Anyway, we mentioned Paul Hennessy's dog were running great. That's his third winner at the Winter Racing Festival. And how many more winners has he got than me?
Two.
And there is the bell, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Winter Racing Festival Championship 750. 1 Hookham, in 2 JT Craze, 3 Coulivanny Otto, 4 Kinturk Road, 5 Crescent Emily, and 6 Penny's Links. 1.5 laps ahead of them. And racing, good start by one up the inside. Hookham leads to the bend from in second spot 2 JT Craze, then comes 3 Caul and Ian, but up front and it is 1 Hookham that sets a strong gallop, but there goes 2 JT Craze up the inside. It's JT Craze and Hookham lead. In third spot we have 6 improving Penny's Links with 3 Caul and Ian. The 2 ladies are at the tail, but up front and 2 JT Craze moves on by 5, 6 lengths to in second spot 1 Hookham, then comes 6 on the outside Penny's Links. Caul and Ian improves. So too 5 Crescent Emily and 4 Kinturk Road, but off the final turn, and it is 2 JT Craze. 5 Crescent Emily flies into second, but up front, and it is 2 JT Craze that wins from 5 Crescent Emily and 6 Penny's Links. The winning time 41.92.
Ian, on to race 11 on the card. I know you're a big fan of distance racing there. We sort of called this from the start. We said that Magical Sapphire was going to go clear. Lots and lots of people downstairs going to be mixing around with some sort of heavy punters, and they were like all on this 5-4 even money, 4-5. At the first bend, Ballyhooly TJ sort of swung off a little bit, and I sort of went, but passing the stands the first time, game over.
At the second bend, he's 8-1 on.
Yeah.
You know, at the fourth bend, heading into the back straight, he's 100 on.
101 on the right, as they
certainty. The magical Sapphire bitch, like she won a 750 here before, but the night of the Ian Von Barry 600, she leads. And she's picked up for third by Ballyhooly TJ, who came from about 10 behind her. So, like, the writing was on the wall. Lilac Tree was the slight unknown. Like, obviously, she's out of Battle Cry, who was a very talented stayer herself. So you just fear that maybe this one will take off if you're on the even money, shall we say. But once Ballyhooly TJ entered the back straight, it was like he had just an extra gear. He just ran away from the third bend or the fifth bend. I didn't even get the winning distance. It must have been about 12 lengths.
I was going to say that he must have won by 2. I didn't get the winning distance myself.
Yeah.
It was first.
It was without question the easiest winner of the 2 nights. Just, you know, I would say they're thinking to themselves, God, I wish they had an 850 competition or whatnot. Like, they might have to run him over the 1,000 yards. But I'll tell you one thing, this fellow will be very hard to keep out of the frame over 750 yards next year in all the major competitions. There's no Tono Charlie to take on. And that's something they'll be thinking about. That. Yeah, like he would have been an absolute, you know, short price favourite to win either race tonight. Now, he wouldn't have run the 850 to run in the 750. He's not here, and there's no point in sort of delving on this too much. Like, the fact of the matter is that the dog is retired and he'll never race again. But he lit up the scene. But isn't it great to see the likes of Ballyhooly TJ, who ran so well all year, finally getting a big prize? It's only the 5,000 for the 850. Only. It would have been 10,000 back in the Night of Stars days because it was 8 championship races rather than 6 championship races. But listen, it's still a big prize. His connections look more than happy out there, and I look forward to seeing plenty more of Ballyhooly TJ. Is a dog I have a real sweet spot for. You know me, Barry. If they have stamina, they're on my good books.
Just must mention, you mentioned Lilac Tree, but a big run back in third place. Although she's beaten a long way, High J Muzzy, she's been struggling against the top dogs.
You know where she's going.
Yeah, the grading system hasn't worked in her favour because she's hanging on to the coattails of really, really good dogs. But it's good to see her back in third place after her win here last year.
All in traps, folks, now for the penultimate race over the 850-yard trip. Don't throw away your tickets early. This over the extended distance. The hare coming around the final 2 bends now, up behind boxes. And off they race, and a good start by trap 4 with Lilac Tree and 5 Magical Sapphire now starts to assert, and it's Magical Sapphire will go round that corner in front. From in second 4 Lilac Tree, 6 Ballyhooly TJ in a good position in third spot, then comes 2 up the inside Rowana Bonnie, but out front and it is 5 Magical Sapphire on by 3 to in second 4 Lilac Tree, 6 Ballyhooly TJ is close enough if good enough, as they say, into the back straight. Magical Sapphire under pressure from Lilac Tree, and here comes Ballyhooly TJ showing all his pace down into the penultimate bend, and Ballyhooly TJ will strike the front from Magical Sapphire. Lilac Tree is forced to check, and Ballyhooly TJ races on. He's gone clear off the final turn. Ballyhooly TJ will win as he likes. In second spot is 4 Lilac Tree, but out front Ballyhooly TJ in a league of his own. The winning time 47.40.
Okay, on to the lucky last, and again, as we mentioned, Ballyhooly TJ very, very well backed by a lot of big punters, and then we had Bombay Pat 11-10, even money 10-11. Lots of people went.
It's the nightmare double for the layers, really, isn't it? Bombay Pat, you know, there wasn't too many men here tonight that didn't think he'd go to the front. Didn't fly out. There was a fast start up the inside. There was a little bit of traffic on the inside, and all of a sudden Bombay Pat, as we said, he has that sprinting speed into the corner. He shot clear, and thereafter while you're sort of looking in behind, Elite Josh kept moving off and bumping into Carmack King, and they just kept rubbing shoulders. Neither could get loose of each other. They sort of cost each other their chance, because as it was, Carmack King absolutely hammered home. He flew to the escape. Yeah. But no, Bombay Pat was just like, he's a Rolls Royce of a greyhound. I wouldn't like to see him over the trip too often. You know, you could see he was feeling it a bit up the home straight. You know, if this dog is staying, he's doing 30-60. As it was, he's doing 31 something. He's a very, very fast greyhound. He's a big, big player in all the major competitions next year. I'm sure he'll be toaster bound. Easter Cup will be on the agenda. Derby. Those are the three main competitions for him. That's the type of level we're talking about. And who knows, maybe back for the Winter Racing Festival next year. But no, it was a great way to finish off the night.
1 hour cracker, 2 is Elite Josh, 3 Carmack King, 4 Dynamic Force, in 5 Bombay Pat, and 6 is Robbie's Galaxy. The hare up behind Traps. Racing, good start by Trap 2, but he cuts inwards. Elite Josh takes a bump, and now there goes 5. Bombay Pat will lead into the bend. From in second, 2 Elite Josh, and 3 Carmack King, but out front, and it's Bombay Pat. Elite Josh in second, Carmack King makes a move. Then comes 4 Dynamic Force, but out front, and still Bombay Pat leads by 4 lengths. 2 in second, Elite Josh bumping again with Carmack King. It's Bombay Pat leads into the home straight. Can he see it out? He looks like he is to the line. Bombay Pat will get there. A brilliant night for Graham Holland. In second is 3 Carmack King, and 2 Elite Josh third. The winning time 31:07.
As they do when they get a winner here at Shelbourne Park, they do that with their card. Right? So that's it from me and Mr. Fortune for this year. We've had a great crack here at the Derby. Ian, thanks very much for joining me during the Derby and the Winter Racing Festival. We're not quite finished for 2024 yet, because we have the Bernard Barry Oaks worth £10,000. We also have the Gold Collar A1, and we're going to have a couple of outstanding races here before
Shelbourne Marathon.
Ballyhooly TJ. High V Muzzy. High J Muzzy.
I fancy those two to be in the final anyway.
Yeah, reverse forecast. It's been a pleasure the last 8 weeks.
Go enjoy your pint.
Pints. That's it from us. All the best, folks. Have a very happy Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Thank you.